This is ABC15 Mornings.
Now at 6, a new illness linked to the coronavirus, and it's impacting children across the nation. What the CDC is warning families of.
And a story of survival. A Valley man says that it's a miracle that he's still alive. We're sharing his story with you this morning.
The heat keeping fires burning in Arizona, and we're keeping an eye on the flames that are still ripping along the I-17 and what people living in that area need to know this morning. We thank you for starting your Sunday morning off with us. I'm Nohelani Graff.
And I'm Mark Thompson, working from home, and we are in the middle of the dog days of summer, which means heat upon heat and more heat, Nohe.
Yeah, exactly. We have had such an awful stretch of hot weather, and today it gets dangerously hot again. So it is a weather action day here at ABC 15. We've got an excessive heat warning in effect today and tomorrow across the Phoenix metro area, the entire valley, as well as the Tonto Basin and Globe, where temperatures will range between 108 to 113 degrees. So dangerously hot temperatures. We want you to take action to make sure that you are staying cool and hydrated. The forecast high in the valley today, 112 degrees with just some light breezes at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, we have been talking a lot about these consecutive days of 110 and above. Yesterday, we tied that record, and I think we'll break it today and then shatter it in the coming week. So we'll talk more about that coming up in that full, most accurate forecast.
All right, Nohe, thank you. And we are on wildfire watch this morning. The dry heat fueling fires across Arizona right now, 2 burning on the opposite sides of the I-17 near the Sunset Point rest stop. The Canyon fire is under control, burning only about 50 acres. Then there's the Bumblebee fire, charring about 3,000 acres now. Crews working on the ground and in the air to get the upper hand on this one. It hasn't forced any evacuations yet, but the small town of Bumblebee is on standby just in case things get worse.
Also a cautionary tale for everyone out there. These high temperatures proving just how dangerous they can be. A woman rushed to the hospital just yesterday after having to be airlifted off Camelback Mountain. It's just too hot to hike out there, even if you're an experienced hiker. Firefighters say she was incredibly sick from the heat. They did have to do some work and carry her part of the way down to meet the helicopter, which then brought her to this ambulance that was waiting in the parking lot below. At last check, she was being treated for heat-related issues at the hospital.
And developing this morning, one person shot and killed in Phoenix last night. A suspect is in police custody. This is new video as officers investigate. This is near 70th Avenue and Indian School Road. Officers were first called out around 9:30. We're told that one person was hurt but not shot. This is another person.
Some international headlines now, nearly 5 days after a massive blast. Rescue operations at Beirut's Ground Zero are still keeping dozens of teams busy. They're looking for clues and also for a few dozen people that are still missing. And among the missing are firefighters who had to respond to the initial blaze. But chances of finding anyone alive at this point are getting very slim. There are about a dozen international teams helping on the ground right now.
And today, Japan is marking the 75th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Nagasaki. Survivors and family of victims offered flowers and prayers at a memorial ceremony in the northwestern city. The Prime Minister was also in attendance and paid respects to the victims. In 1945, the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs, of course, on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Tens of thousands of people were killed on impact, and more people died later from burns and radiation-related illnesses. For decades, Japan has been pushing for a world free of nuclear weapons.
Now we turn our attention to the coronavirus. A little bit of relief for millions of families that are still struggling financially because of COVID-19. With no sign of a deal on a new stimulus plan, President Donald Trump sidestepped Congress and signed 4 new executive orders this weekend. So here's how it breaks down. One gives a $400 per week boost to weekly unemployment benefits. So of course it was $600, so still coming close to that, at least $400. Another enacts a payroll tax holiday. So that essentially has a temporary tax cut for anyone who makes less than $100,000 a year, but this doesn't eliminate it altogether, just puts it off a little bit longer. The other two orders extend the ban on evictions, very important, and also it allows people to continue to hold off and defer making their student loan payments. And
we've got new news this morning on that rare illness that is affecting children in the U.S. from COVID-19. Right now, the CDC says nearly 600 children have been stricken and 10 have died, and it appears that people in the Black and Hispanic community are suffering the worst effects. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
8-year-old Jordan Hutchins is a survivor.
I was worried that I might pass.
Weeks after being exposed to COVID-19, Jordan's health took a turn for the worse. He was taken to a hospital just outside New York City, where he was put on a ventilator, suffered 2 strokes, and his heart stopped.
It felt like that I was never gonna go home again.
Doctors confirming Jordan had multi-system inflammatory syndrome, MIS-C, that rare and deadly illness that attacks a child's vital organs. We spoke with Dr. Alok Singh, who treated Jordan.
It's something that happens not when you get the infection with COVID, but a few weeks after you get infection with COVID.
There are alarming new numbers from the CDC tonight showing the illness has killed at least 10 children and sickened nearly 600 more in 40 states plus Washington, D.C. Much like the virus itself, MIS-C is disproportionately impacting Latino and Black children, accounting for nearly 3/4 of all cases. And health experts say obesity is the most common underlying medical condition. Experts say the most common symptoms are abdominal pain, including diarrhea and vomiting, skin rash, fever, red eyes, and headaches. In New York, little Jordan with a message of thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for your prayers and well wishes. Thank you for the nurses and doctors at Maria Ferreri's Children's Hospital for taking special care of me.
When Jordan went to the hospital, he had a high fever and trouble breathing. His doctor tells us his condition worsened overnight, and despite him being on the ventilator, his heart was failing. Doctors say MIS-C is rare and can be detected early if parents recognize the symptoms. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, New York.
Stephanie, thanks. Early detection always does seem to be the key. Now let's talk about that most accurate forecast, Weather Action Day here at ABC 15. Hard to tell right now because the temperatures are so comfortable out there. You can even open up the windows for a little bit, get some fresh air in, and take just a brief break from the AC. 87 right now in the Phoenix metro, but we actually have a lot of valley cities that are starting off in the upper 70s this morning. So if you want to get your exercise in, now is the time to do it. We will stay in the 80s for about another hour or two even, but in that 9 o'clock hour, we start warming into the 90s, and then by 10 o'clock, it's 100 degrees already, so it's starting to get uncomfortable. By 2 o'clock, 111 degrees. You want to be limiting your time outside at that point. Also, as we reach that high temperature today, very likely to now shatter this record, which we tied, of the number of days we have hit 110 or above in Phoenix. 33, we hit the number yesterday, and that tied the record from 2011. So we will see if we can shatter it. Keep in mind, this should only be happening about 19 days a year. So it's not a good look right now for Arizona as we start to move into drought conditions. So I'll talk more about that most accurate forecast, what you can expect today and where you will find some relief coming up in that full forecast.
All right, no, hey, thank you so much. Well, it is a back-to-school mission. 500 children starting the new school year with all of the supplies they need thanks to a Valley nonprofit, the Military Assistance Mission.
Here at Sanderson Ford, and we're doing our back to school mission where we're handing out backpacks to our Arizona military families.
How many boys, how many girls?
This is our 6th annual event, and this looks very different. With COVID, we've taken a lot of precautions. We've set everything up in a drive-through style.
Hi, how are you?
And what's great is our volunteers care so much.
One of them wants a black one.
Who wants camo?
They're actually letting the kids pick.
Do any of these look good for you?
Do you like this backpack or do you like this backpack?
And for the other boys, do you want more camo things?
Our Arizona military families are struggling right now.
You guys have a great day.
It's important to have the backs of those that have our backs.
And every child also received a clear face shield for when in-person classes resume. Right now at 6:09 on your Sunday morning, coming up, a man stranded for over a day after a mistake on an Arizona trail. We'll have that story up next. Also, the Suns are still the only team left undefeated this season for the NBA restart in the bubble. So do they have a shot at the playoffs? We'll let you know coming up. And now to an incredible story of survival. A man stranded for 24 hours on a trail. ABC 15's Adam Waltz with more on what happened so it doesn't happen to you.
It's a miracle I'm alive. The words from a Valley man who fell almost 7 stories off the side of a mountain and was stranded for almost 24 hours, being unable to walk.
It happened in a flash.
Still bruised and cut up, but good, all things considered.
I ended up falling about 50 to 70 feet.
On Tuesday, Jacob Velarde went hiking near Camp Verde with his brother.
About a mile into it, he decided it really wasn't for him. So we decided it'd be best that he'd probably just sleep it off in the car.
Jacob, an experienced hiker, was alone and at a fork in the trail.
Once you get towards the water, kind of is a little confusing on which way to go. There was a little ledge about 5 or so feet up. Not much of a grip that I can get up, but I thought I was going to be able to get it. When I went to push off, the ground beneath me gave way.
He fell 50 to 70 feet down the side of the cliff, suffering a broken nose, orbital bone, broken ankle, and a sprained wrist.
I thought, certainly, this is the end, in that moment.
His brother wasn't expecting him back until the next day. Luckily, he was by water, and he was able to crawl to the creek for water and to cool off his body. His experience from EMT school helped him assess his injuries.
Am I going to be able to get out of the canyon? No, because my legs hurt, my arms hurt, and I get dizzy. I knew I had a concussion right away just because, the dizziness.
Miraculously, a family found him almost 24 hours after he fell, and he was lifted by helicopter out of the canyon. He took 2 photos before his fall, this selfie, and ironically, this picture showing the exact spot where he landed.
I was being a little bit reckless, to be honest. I should have played it, as safe as possible.
In Phoenix, Adam Waltz, ABC 15, Arizona.
Just an unbelievable story. Glad to see he's okay. A little worse for the wear, though, but unreal. Let's talk about that most accurate forecast. Now it's Weather Action Day because we do have an excessive heat warning in effect today and tomorrow. Everywhere that you see in pink across the valley, also out at Roosevelt Lake in the Tonto Basin and the city of Globe as well. So what that means is if you're being active in any way, you should be drinking plenty of water. We're talking 4 cups an hour, especially if you're still going to be moving and if you're going to be spending any time outside. You want to wear those light colored, loose fitting clothes so it allows your body to breathe. And by no means should you be leaving your pets or your kids in the car at any point today. It will be warming up quickly. All the more reason to capitalize right now. Roll the windows down, open the windows up even at your house as you're having your morning cup of coffee, and get outside if you can. It feels pretty nice out there. We're in the low 80s across much of the valley, 81 in Goodyear and Peoria, 80 in Ahwatukee right now, as well as Mesa. But check this out. We've got a lot of 70s, 79 in Apache Junction, 77 in Queen Creek, upper 70s in Chandler, Gilbert, as well as Deer Valley, Anthem, and Buckeye is down to 73 degrees this morning. Really nice temperatures to start the day out there. The sun is up, and so that means we will start to warm up pretty rapidly here. So we're going to stay in the 80s until about that 8 o'clock hour. Then we start crossing into the 90s. By 9 o'clock, we're in the upper 90s, and triple digits show up at 10 o'clock this morning. So you can see how quickly this is going to progress. And by 1 p.m., we're at 109 degrees and closing in on that high temperature of the day, which is 112. We'll see that in Goodyear, Levine, Ahwatukee, Tempe, and Gilbert. It's going to be 111 in Scottsdale today, as well as Queen Creek, 110 in Fountain Hills and Apache Junction. We'll also see that same temperature in the Deer Valley neighborhoods, 111 in Peoria, Surprise, and even out in Wickenburg today. Right now, it's a nice, comfortable start if you're waking up in the high country and you did a full weekend getaway. Oh, what a nice walk this morning. You might even need a light jacket if you're up in Flagstaff. 45 degrees up there. We're in the low 40s at the Grand Canyon. It's 48 in Heber. Show load nice and crisp still, too. 61 degrees for you. It's 65 in Prescott. But we've got those 70s and 80s off to our west and to our south, where we'll also see a similar warm up to today. Along our western border, Mojave County, Yuma County, all going to be close to 110 degrees. Even though we don't have any heat alerts in effect for the western portion of our state, still dangerously hot temperatures. You still need to take action to stay healthy. It'll be 113 in Gila Bend, 110 in Casa Grande. Now, if you're heading up the road for a short day trip, it will still be toasty in Sedona, 98 degrees, that forecast high. But at least if you're in the shade on a hike, it gets a little bit better, but you want to postpone that hiking. If you're going to do it in the second half of the day, you don't want to do it then. Do it in the early half of the day. North of the rim, better though. 85 in Flagstaff, 88 in Heber, 89 in Window Rock. Show low also warming into the upper 80s. We stay dry pretty much statewide, but we can't rule out the chance of a stray shower afternoon in our southeastern pocket. But it looks like just sprinkles there. No real storm activity possible, and it's not going to move into the valley at all. We continue our weather action day into tomorrow with that excessive heat warning in place with highs around 110 degrees, staying right there for Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we're back to 112. And that's not even the hottest day of the week. It's going to get even hotter in the 7-day. So I'll show you what to prepare for in that 7-day forecast in just a little bit, Mark.
Hey, thank you. And right now, the Phoenix Suns are feeling pretty good right now. They are 5-0 in the NBA bubble in Orlando. In fact, they are the only team that still is undefeated in that NBA restart. And the Miami Heat were the latest team to find out that these aren't the same old Suns that we've all grown accustomed to over the last decade. Devin Booker had a game-high 35 points, matching his bubble high. Booker is averaging 29 points per game in the NBA bubble, but that's no surprise. The Suns taking this one 119 to 112. It's their first 5-game winning streak since December of 2014, and they are legitimately now in conversations for making the playoffs. Well, the Phoenix Mercury, they were also red hot in the bubble, but they ran into the Seattle Storm yesterday, and they jumped out to a 19-point halftime lead. That's the Storm we're talking about. And making matters worse for the Mercury, Diana Taurasi left the game in the fourth quarter with an injury. The good news is that the MRI revealed no structural damage, and it's not related to the back surgery that she had last year, but there is no timetable for her return. The Arizona Diamondbacks, they seem to be bouncing back just a little bit, winning last night in a bounce-back game in that series. Their one constant this year has been Merrill Kelly having a quality start. He went 6 innings last night, allowing only 1 run. The Diamondbacks, they also found the long ball in the 6th to give them the lead. Starling with his first homer as a D-back, and then 3 batters later, we get 1 more. And the bullpen closed things down with a 3-2 win.
It's a good win for this ball club. Super excited about it. We'll enjoy it, turn the page, and get ready for tomorrow.
Yes, and they play again today at 1:10. The Phoenix Rising and their head coach Rick Shantz said that New Mexico would be one of the toughest challenges and matches that his club would face all year. And despite a lack of success against their neighbors to the east previously, the Rising taking this one, a big win, 5-2. Well, it's 6:20 now on your Sunday morning. Coming up, a sweet treat for an awesome cause of Valley teens baking, showing what it means to be Arizona strong. Welcome back, everybody. And between now and Election Day, you can expect to see a lot of campaign ads coming across your television screen. In fact, the experts predict that those campaigns altogether will spend close to $10 billion on those ads. But they are using some tricks to try and sway your votes. Our very own Joe St. George takes a look.
Truth be told, it's that time of year. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
When your television gets overwhelmed.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
So what should viewers look out for when watching a political ad?
I write and produce.
To get answers, we went to Democratic ad maker Julian Mulvey.
At this point, all gloves are off.
And Republican ad maker Sarah Cutter. The first secret revealed? Pay attention to font.
I got the red line here.
Julian says Democrats will use a lot of red lettering on ads against the president. It's meant to get your attention and instill fear.
But you see a lot of negative advertising, and the first color you ever see in your life is red.
The second secret revealed? Pay attention to the voice. When a campaign is worried they might be a little too over the top with a claim, they'll use a female voice.
But no one is here to take your call.
Sarah says this ad by President Trump did just that.
There can be more fear in a female's voice without it seeming to be too much.
Be on the lookout for TV journalists appearing in your television through campaign commercials. It's a tactic being used more often, and you should know journalists don't like it, and journalists can't stop it. Julian says TV stations can't sue to get their reporters out of ads, and research shows viewers are more likely to believe those commercials when they see the face of someone they watch on the news.
Local anchors are trusted individuals.
The fourth secret revealed: distorted photos of candidates. In Georgia, Senator David Perdue had to take down this after his campaign made his opponent's nose look bigger. Secret number 5, actors and staffers are sometimes used.
The medical bills were astronomical.
This ad in Arizona tells the story of someone with cancer being inspired by Senator Martha McSally's campaign. The campaign never disclosed the woman used to work for McSally.
Keep your wits about you.
And secret revealed number 6, don't click on those digital ads. Sarah telling us when you click on an ad, computer programs will simply serve you up more ads in the future.
We can track your information and follow you with more ads. It's kind of like when you go and click on that Patagonia jacket, and then that Patagonia jacket suddenly follows you around the internet. It's the same technology.
For Truth Be Told, I'm Joe St. George.
Oh, all of the advertising tricks, but at least now you know how you're being targeted so you can make your decisions. A Valley teen is using his extra time to give back to others. I want to introduce you to Avi this morning. This week, he actually presented a big check, $2,500 to St. Mary's Food Bank, and it's money that he raised from selling cupcakes that he made from scratch. Would you look at those things? That's pretty high end, and every cent is going to those in need.
If we're making food for other people to buy it, then we should be giving back, and we should be allowing giving food to those who can't get it themselves.
He should also be opening a sweet shop or something. I mean, those are professional grade cupcakes. If you would like to try some of Avi's cupcakes to see if they taste as amazing as they look and help out St. Mary's in the process, he has a website set up, and that link is on your screen right there. It is a weather action day here at ABC 15. We've got dangerously hot temperatures in the forecast. I'm going to break it down for you hour by hour so you know when you need to start limiting your time outside. We want you to be safe on this Sunday, Arizona.